The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
They always come crawling back, and in this case, it's a guy who can stick to walls and climb up buildings. So about a month ago or so, give or take a couple of days, news came out that Spider-Man, played by Tom Holland, was leaving the MCU proper because Disney and Sony could not come to an agreement. In the days since that announcement, people have been going crazy with speculation, rumors, ideas, all sorts of things in regards to what's going to happen with Spider-Man. Where are we going to see Spider-Man fight Venom? Where are we going to see a crossover with Morbius? Where are we going to see a live-action Into the Spider-Verse film? No one knew. Well, now we do, because according to Variety, it's official. Spider-Man will stay in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. After briefly breaking up, Sony Pictures and Marvel have found a way to get back in the Spider-Man business together. On Friday, the two companies jointly announced that Marvel Studios and its president, Kevin Feige, will produce the third film in the Spider-Man Homecoming series. It will once again feature Tom Holland reprising the role of the titular hero. The rumor mill roared back to life this week with hints the two companies were close to brokering a new agreement. Over the summer, news broke that Disney, Marvel's parent company, and Sony had reached an impasse over a new financing deal. Disney wanted the film to be financed on a 50-50 basis, with Feige remaining in a consulting producer capacity. Sony is believed to have proposed keeping the arrangement under the current terms, which stipulate that Marvel receives about 5% of first dollar gross and all merchandising revenues. The new deal was signed late on Thursday night. Negotiations involved top players from both studios, including Sony Pictures chief Tom Rothman, Kevin Feige, and Walt Disney Studios co-chairman Alan Horn and Alan Bergman. In exchange for lending Feige's producing prowess, Marvel and Disney will receive roughly 25% of the profits, according to insiders. Disney will retain its merchandising rights and will put up roughly a quarter of the financing. As part of the arrangement, Spider-Man will also appear in one future Marvel Studios film. So the rest of the article is just a bunch of boilerplate talk and garbage. Look, I get a lot of people are happy, and you know what, so am I, partially. I really enjoyed Tom Holland as Spider-Man overall. Is he as great as Tobey Maguire? Not to me, but he's much better than Andrew Garfield. His first appearance in Civil War really sold me. I was lukewarm on Homecoming. Absolutely loved him in Infinity War. Endgame he did dick, and in the latest film Far From Home, he was pretty solid. I liked him a lot. What I loved about that film was the cliffhanger ending with J. Jonah Jameson. Like I said on the review proper, which I don't even think you can find on the channel anymore, I literally cheered with excitement when I saw that happen. I'm a huge J.K. Simmons fan as J. Jonah Jameson. I think he's up there with Robert Downey Jr. and Hugh Jackman as some of the best live-action comic book actors ever. And to see him return really excited me. And on top of that, like I said, it was a cliffhanger. You didn't know where the story was going to go. So when the news did break that Marvel and Sony had split, I was not really upset because, Spider-Man needs to be in the MCU to be good, because I'm in the camp that Spider-Man 2 is the greatest superhero movie ever made, and you don't need Disney's involvement to make a truly great Spider-Man film. Sony's done it 3 times, with the first 2 Spider-Man films, and most recently, Into the Spider-Verse, which was a damn fine film. So now we know that Spider-Man is coming back for a third Homecoming film, and Spider-Man is also going to appear in a future Marvel Studios film, so that is 2 more films for Spider-Man. Now there was the old rumor about Captain Marvel and Spider-Man teaming up to make Captain Marvel more likable, and I guarantee that's what's going to happen. They're going to team up Spider-Man with her, he'll be the jokey one, she'll be the brick wall, and then by the end of the movie her heart will have softened and she'll be funny and likable and people will be lining up to buy her merchandise, and it's a wet dream for Disney that'll never happen. Look, if you're going to use Spider-Man in some capacity in one future MCU film, make sure you do it well. Don't waste it on Brie Larson to send a message to the hateful fans or try to promote an agenda. Nobody cares about her. It's, you know what? Just let her go and focus on other heroes. People don't like Captain Marvel in the comics. They don't like her in the film. They were duped once, not again. But don't sacrifice Spider-Man for the sake of her because you think there's more longevity in that character. There's not. I'm excited to see them close out the Homecoming trilogy, no matter what it will be called. I don't like that name. I think the title Homecoming is the worst Spider-Man title. Far From Home is the second worst Spider-Man title. Obviously, I love the Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 titles. They're very basic. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, nice naming conventions. But who knows? You could have gone the route of, the Spectacular Spider-Man, or Sensational Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, or Peter Parker Spider-Man. You could have had all those titles out there, or you could have done the older one, Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. There's all sorts of different titling, name conventions you could have come with. Homecoming is a little on the nose with him returning to Marvel proper, as well as the Homecoming dance, and Far From Home is just a stretch on that. They're trying to brand something very stupid, and that's kind of how my take is on all the new modern Spider-Man movies from Disney. They're kind of stupid. Are they bad? No. but they're kind of dumb. There are some funny moments. I loved the teachers and, Venice and stuff like that. But I thought Mysterio was a pretty weak villain. There were some great visuals in that film, but overall, not the best Spider-Man film. Maybe top 4? I guess that's pretty good. It's better than The Amazings, but I digress. Hopefully they close it out strongly and they leave it open for more Spider-Man films, because I don't want more reboots. If you're going to do a reboot, just don't tell the origin story. Don't make him a kid. Just continue on with a new actor and a new timeline. We all know the story of Spider-Man. It's like Batman or Superman or the story of George Washington. Everybody just knows these stories. It's not really something that we need to relearn again. You're not going to build a new audience based on retelling the same story. Most kids already know who Spider-Man is, and most of their parents know that he got bitten by a radioactive spider, and that's all they need to know to get into the character. I do think the main reason for this news, this arrangement, this deal being such a small one but a guaranteed one, is because both studios were left in a precarious situation. Marvel proper was stuck with a cliffhanger with Nick Fury and the Skrulls, so without a proper closure to that, you don't know where it's going to go. You kind of have a lot of stuff tied up at the end of Far From Home, so you need to be able to finish that story. And yes, I know they have the rights to those characters, but you're going to kind of need to build off of that world. So for story's sake, they probably made that arrangement. And Sony's stuck on that cliffhanger where J. Jonah Jameson reveals his identity, and there's all kinds of crazy things. So hopefully it works out to the good. But both studios kind of have to have a resolution to the story, and that's very important moving forward, because the age of reboots is over this early into the game. Down the road, you do remakes, you do reboots. I don't like it. I like continuations. Shit. I would not be mad if Tobey Maguire was still Spider-Man. Number 3 left us with a bad taste in our mouth. You could have redeemed yourself with 4, crossed over with the Avengers. He could have been a grown man. And oddly enough, Tobey Maguire aged really well, so you could buy that he's late 20s, early 30s for a while. It's not really much of a problem, but that's neither here nor there. So what do you think of this news? Is it good news to you? Is it bad news to you? Do you think Disney had no other option? I mean, their Phase 4 slate was pretty damn stupid. There was nothing in there that made me super excited outside of Doctor Strange Into the Multiverse. The TV shows, I'm a little iffy on. I love the character of Loki and Scarlet Witch and Black Widow, and well, she's got her own film. I like all the characters that are getting their own TV shows, with the exception of Hawkeye, because it's not going to be about Hawkeye, it'll be about Kate Bishop, and I don't care about passing on mantles. The problem with the MCU is, like, we didn't get enough time with these characters. A trilogy wasn't enough for Captain America or Iron Man. No one once said, man, I am really tired of Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man. You know what? People are so not tired of it that they're putting him in the Black Widow film, that they're going to use him to introduce Ironheart. They're going to keep milking him to make more money. No one was tired of it. So, Spider-Man is the biggest name at Marvel ever. I don't care what you say. Well, this movie made $1 billion. That's nice, but Spider-Man's been consistently popular for almost 60 years. These characters that we all know and love from the MCU have been around for just as long, if not longer in some cases, but none of them have reached the heights of success that Spider-Man has. So now we'll get this one film, one possible film in the future, and maybe the X-Men will come in to save the day. Who knows? But that's all we know for now. And as always, once the story evolves, develops, we'll come back, talk more about it. But hopefully you enjoyed this. This was a different take on a video. Sorry the visuals were a little less than usual, but this is breaking news. And how else do I report breaking news? By getting it out relatively fast. It's only been out for a few hours. So folks, if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up and let me know all over social media that you love it by sharing it and telling people about us. Join our Patreon page, patreon.com/worldclassbs, for a whole ton of content, including a game review that we got coming out next week. We've never done one of those. It's on The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. So if you're into stuff like that, well, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Kendo's review basically sold me, and I'm going to buy the game eventually. But that is it for today, folks. Thank you for watching, and as always, go out into the world and be excellent to each other.